Hello and welcome to ITE 130. I'm your instructor, Tom Feist, and today we're going to go over the syllabus and talk a little bit about this course and give you an introduction. This is probably one of the longest videos you'll watch in this class, but it's probably one of the most important. So let's see, this class is designed to give you a very broad overview about the internet. I think a lot of us, we probably use the internet every day. And certainly because you're taking this class online, you will be using the internet regularly to do class. So a lot of us use the internet every day, but it's kind of like electricity, right? We use electricity every day, but we don't necessarily know how electricity works or why it works. We just know that if we turn the switch on, the light turns on. And a lot of us are the same way about the internet. A lot of us use it every day, but we really don't understand the foundations of it. And this class is designed to give you a really broad introduction to the internet, what it is, where it came from, and we'll talk even some about where it's headed. And so that's kind of a little background about the course. A little background about me. I have an MBA from William & Mary. I'm also credentialed to teach business, and I have a certified internet webmaster, master e-commerce developer certification. I'm on TCC's web team, and my day-to-day duties include taking care of www.tcc.edu. So if any of you have ever visited that website, you might be familiar with some of what I take care of on a daily basis. Let's see. All right, my email is my preferred contact method. I will probably be the most responsive instructor that you've ever had at TCC with regards to contacting via email and actually getting responses. I'm generally pretty good about it. During the course of a week, you should expect an answer within 24 hours, but it will probably be much less than that. On the weekends, though, I often have things going on. I run a pet studio, photo studio, and I have much less availability on the weekends. So I may actually be slower to reply on weekends, and I know that a lot of you work on class during the weekends, but just be aware that if you contact me on the weekend, I'm probably going to be a lot slower to reply on the weekends. But tmf22@email.vccs.edu is my preferred contact method. I do have another email address that is related to, because I work for TCC full-time, and so I have like a staff email address as well. And every semester, without fail, some of you will find that email address and you'll send me email there. Please don't. I like to try to keep all of my class work separated from my work, and sending me an email at my staff email will not make it faster, because I don't check my staff email at all on the weekends. So I won't even see your question if you ask me to my staff email. So I don't even print that in the syllabus because I don't want you to use it. It's my regular email address, the one I want you to use for all class correspondence, is tmf22@email.vccs.edu. My office information, I have a cubicle in the Green District Administration Building, and the actual location of that is the 121 College Place. I'm in Suite 616, but we are kind of playing musical chairs right now, so I'm not really sure the room number of what it is that I will eventually end up in, but that's where I happen to be at the moment. I suggest, if you want to meet me, and I love meeting my online students because we never see each other. We're only ever in a virtual space. So I love meeting you guys, and if you want to do that, then I will use a faculty staff computer lab that is located in another place, because like I said, I only have a cubicle, so it's not really very conducive to like meeting with people. And so I will go with you to the faculty staff computer lab, and I want to schedule a time and make sure that it's available. So I would say that if you want to come see me, let me know ahead of time. Also, I have meetings and stuff, and I want to make sure that if you come from wherever you're coming from all the way to the Norfolk campus, Green District Administration Building, and you're coming there to see me, I want to make sure that I'm there to see you. So I would strongly encourage that you arrange it with me ahead of time. Either call me or send me an email. Email is the preferred contact method. So, right, I talked a little bit about like how this is a broad introduction. You know, we do have that introduction to the World Wide Web. We talk about web browsers, we talk about using email, we talk about different types of internet service providers. We do some lessons on searching the web. We find out how to find and qualify information resources on the web. It's downloading and storing data, communication over the internet. We'll also talk a little bit about social media and the role that it's playing in communication. Securing and enhancing the use of the internet. We talk about viruses and malware and all that kind of fun stuff that's lurking out there around every corner. We talk about web portals and electronic commerce. We touch just a little bit on that e-commerce piece, which I really get into because I am a business instructor as well. So for me, that's a really interesting end of things, and because online is really enabling us to become so integrated with commerce that it's pretty exciting. And then these last group of things here are all talking about web pages, tags and attributes, hypertext, uploading with FTP. Part of the requirements of this course is we will build a very basic HTML web page, and I'll walk you through the steps on how to do that, and you'll create for yourself your very own web space and customize that as part of the final deliverable for this course. Okay, so let's see. Let's go down to the course materials. Course materials required. You have an internet connection and reliable internet access to a computer, and access to a reliable computer. Student email access checked daily. I don't know if you have to check it daily, but you're going to need to check it most frequently. I communicate a lot, so I think that you will find that I'm a little bit different than a lot of your instructors that you've had in the past. I'm going to expect that you're kind of connected and that you're engaged. Okay, I do list the text as optional. Quite a few people note that they find things in the text that are helpful. If you've read my online reviews or if you've talked to other students, you probably know that I don't use the book in this class. We don't use the book. I will either lecture for what we need to know, or there will be links to resources that we'll watch videos on YouTube. The greatest thing about learning about the internet on the internet is that all of the resources that we need to learn all of our objectives, they are already out there, and they're out there for free. But you do have to know that you can trust the source, and that's kind of where I come in, because I can vet the sources and look at the stuff they're saying in the video, make sure it's cool, and when it is, I just go ahead and use that resource rather than having you buy this huge book that's can be quite expensive. The chapters, some of you may opt to rent the book, or you can also purchase just certain chapters. The chapters on HTML might be of some use. So especially if this is your first time taking anything or doing anything with HTML, you might find that the HTML chapters are most important. So you can buy them, and I think the chapters are just $10 a piece. So anyway, some different options there for the text. If you have the text and you feel like you might, it is entirely possible for even people who are not techno savvy. You can get an A in this class without the book. So if you want to save yourself some money, go to the bookstore and tell them you dropped the class and take the book back. Don't tell them I told you that, but hey, save yourself some money. You don't really need the text. There are certain parts that you might want to purchase, but you can buy them a la carte, and the text won't be utilized in this class very extensively. Okay, so then onto the recommended equipment. I recommend that you have a USB flash drive. We're going to do a lot of different work, like on your web project and stuff, and you might want to be able to yank that out from one computer and go walk over to a friend's computer or a computer lab and continue working on things related to your web project. So having them on a flash drive is very important. Headphones. We're going to watch a lot of videos in this class. So if you're doing it at work on a lunch break, or you're listening even at home with the kids, you just put the headphones on. It'll help you kind of tune things out. Could be a good resource, so I recommend that you have some. And then something else that's recommended is alternate computer and or internet access. We'll actually complete in Unit 0 something where you're going to assess your alternate technology plan. And the reason why I do this is because every piece of equipment that you have will fail, and it will fail on the day that the assignment is due, in the last hour, and you will be in a frantic panic. And so having thought out what is your alternate computer access and or technology plan is going to be very important. So we actually complete part of that as part of the learning unit, but definitely something that I recommend having is alternate computer and or internet access. So, all right, a little bit about me. I mentioned before, I'm a web programmer. I work on TCC's web team. I have a BS in management of information systems from Old Dominion University, and I have an MBA from William & Mary. I have over 8 years of state service, 5 at TCC, and prior to joining TCC in 2005, I served as the webmaster for the Office of Admissions. When I was doing my graduate studies, though, I studied all around the place. I went to Thailand, Cambodia twice, Vietnam twice, Singapore, Malaysia as a graduate student. Okay, and then with TCC, I've traveled to Brazil and China, also studying businesses. When I was in Cambodia, during one of the times that I was studying there, though, I taught the elementary teachers. There was 18 elementary school teachers, very few of whom even spoke English. And I taught them how to use a computer and internet and email and Google. And it's a very good thing that the Cambodian word for Google is Google, because it kind of facilitated my teaching them about technology, because most of the technological terms are in English. So when I came back from there, I figured, hey, if I can teach people who don't even speak English about how to use the internet, then I certainly can teach people who do speak English how to use the internet. So that's how you guys got me. In my free time, I enjoy photography, hiking, camping, and reading and traveling. And I have this massively old house that's constantly falling apart, and always fixing that up, playing fetch with my dog, and of course I mentioned the studio. I run a studio that benefits animal rescue, and so I'm constantly on the go. Okay, so alright, that's a little bit about me. Now let's talk about some of the things that we're going to do in this class. The assignments. Discussion forums are a weekly activity. We are going to have 2 or 3 or 4 of them, depending on how many units we're doing in that particular week. Their weight is 28%, but of your total score. And I apologize that the percentages are like wonky. It started out all even and everything, and then as time has gone on, I've taught this class for going on 4 years now, and as time's gone on, I've tweaked things and added things, removed them, and it's ended up that the percentages got kind of out of whack. But anyway, it's 28% of your final grade. Your 2 lowest unit scores do drop automatically, so they don't factor into your average. There are tons of discussion forums. So, like I said, in some weeks we might have 4 of them. And, this is a 4-credit class. So if we were meeting during the course of a regular semester, we would meet more than one time a week. And so you can expect that this class is going to be a lot of work. You can expect that we're going to have, a lot of activities to do during a given week. So, that's kind of a precursor to say there's a lot of discussion forum activities. So you might miss some. And if you do, don't let it sweat you too much, because your 2 lowest ones do drop automatically. Okay, then throughout the semester, we have these miscellaneous small assignments. We got this syllabus orientation quiz, which you'll take following watching this video and downloading and printing your syllabus and course outline. And we've got these other small things that they don't really fit into anything particular, but they're just all grouped together in this group called miscellaneous small assignments, and they account for 17% of your final grade. Okay, and we'll talk about the late work policy a little bit later on, okay, which affects both the forums and the miscellaneous small assignments. Midterm. Midterms covers Unit 1 to 7, and midterms are not accepted late, period. Period. Okay? So just know this. Right now, I'm telling you, the midterms are out there for over a week. They are essay-based, and the midterm and the final, this is both of them, are, they're essay-based, and they are out there for over a week. They touch 2 different weekends, and they're due on the day that they're due, and that is it. If you miss them, sorry. I guess the best consolation is that it is only 15% of your final grade. So, if you miss it, you miss it. But at least it didn't give you too big of a hit on your final grade. That's pretty much all I can say about that. On time is essential, and that's for the midterm and the final. Web project also is a big piece. This is 25% of your final grade, and it's divided into 2 checkpoints and a final submission. And there is no late work accepted in the checkpoints, period. They are snapshots. They are periods in time. Checkpoint 1 is a date. And at checkpoint 1, it's almost like a pass-fail. I'll look at it. Do you have requirements? Have you made forward progress? If so, yes. The score is 100. If not, the score is 0. And that's all there is to it. It's like binary. You either do it or you don't. And so the checkpoints are extremely important to get turned in on time. The final project also is, something that's not accepted late. So it's a very big part of your final grade. This one right here, you definitely do not want to mess around with your website checkpoints. Okay, grading. Discussion forums, there's several different kinds of discussion forums, and they're explained in a document called Learning in Forums, and that is posted. It should be in the course information section in Blackboard, so you'll definitely want to look at that. It's about 6 pages long. It describes everything in detail, visually, about how I grade forums, and it gives you examples of responses that are like 6 points, 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, and so on and so forth. The total amount of discussion topic is between 10 and 20 points. It depends on the type of discussion assignment, and that is detailed in the Learning in Forums companion document, which again you can find in the course information section in Blackboard. Okay, miscellaneous small assignments. We already talked about this. Midterm is essay style. Web project has is spread through 2 checkpoints and a final submission. Checkpoints are moments in time. You're required to meet them are either present or not. So there's no late grades. You either have them done or you don't. Final exam, essay style. Everybody takes the final exam. There's no exemptions. The grading scale that we'll use is posted here. I think it's the TCC standard. It's the 10-point scale. Some notes on grading. Weeks run Sunday to Saturday. And the reason that I do this, I know that most of you work on this class on the weekend. And so when I was setting up the course schedules throughout the years, I've tried many different things as far as deadlines. And what seems to work the best is when I spread the weeks so that due dates actually touch 2 different weekends. So it just gives you more flexibility in terms of turning things in, because you've got 2 different weekends where you can be working on something that's due current. So that is how the weeks run. They run from Sunday to Saturday. Everything that's due for a unit is due Saturday by midnight, and on Sunday we start the next learning unit. Okay, we'll talk about the late work policy later. Rounding applies only to your final grade, and I communicate grades by Blackboard, not by email. Let's see how this course works. We have the packet. We have the information organized into learning units. We complete one or more of the learning units each week. Okay, the learning units are comprised of links of resources called learning resources. Those are videos or websites, documents, things that go along with the learning objectives that are set for that week. And we complete those over a course of time. All right, so then we go discussion forums. We've talked a bit about the discussion forums. Here's a little bit more detail. You will definitely want to go get the learning and forums document and look at that in more detail. But there's basically two different categories. There's discussion and discovery. Discovery threads require you to perform some task and report the result. And then replies are not required. Discussion threads require you to address a discussion prompt, and sometimes reply to classmates. Okay, there's a discussion 2, and that requires 2 replies, and a discussion 0 requires no replies. Okay, so those are the 3 things that you'll see in the forums. You'll either see discussion, discovery, you'll see discovery, discussion 0, and discussion 2. And discussion 2 are the only ones that you are required to do replies as part of the assignment. The note on working ahead. This is not a work at your own pace course. However, I do, if you look at the course outline in most semesters, for those of you taking this during the summer, sorry, those semesters are compressed enough as it is, and there's no such option in the summer. But during the fall and spring semesters, I usually write the calendar in such a way that there is choose your own adventure at the end. Okay, towards the end of the class is when we all are screaming, make it stop. And I know this, okay? I'm in classes, I take classes, I teach classes. I know that by the end of the semester, that's when you're usually screaming for it to be over. And so I give you a chance that if you're working very efficiently and you're doing very well and you're turning everything in on time and you're up to date on all the projects and all the deadlines, you can challenge yourself to finish 2 weeks ahead of time. And look at the schedule to see the details of this, but essentially, if you elect to take the challenge path, you complete the final by week 14 out of the 16 weeks, and that puts you done and finished and out of this class 2 weeks before you deal with the ending of all the rest of your classes. And that can be really convenient for you as students, but that is a choose your own adventure that requires discipline and hard work. So if you choose that, then be aware that you're putting yourself under more pressure to get things done in a timely manner. But it's there. But I don't necessarily condone working ahead. You can't just jump in and start, it's week 1 and I'm already on unit 3. No. Slow down, Tonto. Go by the calendar. Okay, everything is prescribed in the calendar. Part of the value that you're going to get from this class is the interaction that you're going to have with your classmates along the way in terms of the responses and looking at things that have been written by your classmates. And so for that reason, I don't let you just, this is not a horse race. We're opening the gates and everybody is on a mad dash to the finish. That's not how it works. However, I do give people who work hard and are focused and are doing well with their deadlines and their assignments, I do give those people an option of, at the end, making a sprint to the finish. So that's a little bit different. It's not a work at your own pace course. Just a note on the exams. The material comes directly from everything required. Everything that's covered in the learning units. They do not require trips to campus. They don't require locked down computers, but I open them for exact windows of time, and you can't make them up. Let's see. Website project. there's a document ITE 130 web page project that is in Blackboard, and I believe I have that linked in the unit 5 folder or the unit 8A folder. It might be in both of them, but it's the web page project document is one that you're going to want to print out, and you're going to want to refer to that constantly as you're doing your web page project. That gives all the details of the assignment and what is expected of it and how to get an A. Let's see, we got some guidelines and etiquette. Please don't use all capital letters when you're typing. Please remember that there's a human being on the other side. Please substantiate your criticisms. You know, I had somebody actually respond to a forum post and say, you can hate on me all you want, but I think Facebook just stinks. And that was the entire post. That's not sufficient criticism. It's not substantiated at all. So it's okay if you don't like Facebook, but you're going to need some more concrete example than that. Why does Facebook stink? You know, you've got to talk to me, us. You've got to substantiate your criticism. And also, you need to avoid the use of sarcasm. You know, when we're talking in face-to-face, or when you're listening to a video, you're hearing my lecture, you're hearing the inflection of my tone of voice, and you can understand if I'm saying something sarcastic. When I type something on the keyboard and you just read that document, there is no tone, there's no body language, and because of that, you can't detect sarcasm. And so sarcasm can be very often misinterpreted when you are online. So just avoid it. Phone posting statement. Okay, here is where I get to go on my little soapbox. I know that a lot of you, and it increases every semester. You are going to be completing this class by phone because that may be your primary internet connection. Okay, I get it. It's convenient. However, you need to understand the following. Number one, you are still responsible for spelling, grammar, and punctuation. And be especially aware of the annoyance of spell checker functions that substitute the wrong words. You are still responsible for posts that make sense. I don't know how anybody uses these phones to type things, because I type about 3 words and I'm like screaming to make it stop. And, you know, I regularly encounter phone posted statements where there's no capitalization at all, except for where the phone puts the capitalization in there for you automatically. And they are so scatter-thoughted because they're just all over the place. When you have a keyboard that's like 2 inches big and you're touching letters, you're not thinking about how to most clearly express your thoughts. You're thinking about, how can I say this in the fewest number of words? And you'll skip words, and you'll just, you know, you'll write your post like it's coming through a text message. And you know, that goes right into the next point, is that text style language with abbreviations in numeric shorthand, like greater instead of greater, absolutely unacceptable. I mean, I need complete thoughts. I need spelling and punctuation. I need correct grammar. I need to be able to read your post and understand what's going on. Don't make me guess. Don't make us guess. And don't make us translate what it is that you were writing. I know that a lot of you are going to post from phones. I don't fight that anymore. But you might consider going on Amazon and invest yourself in a Bluetooth keyboard. Okay, I got one for my phone, and I actually got one. It was for my iPad too, because I like using it with that too. But Bluetooth keyboard, it's wireless, and you know, it's like I think it was like $26. Anyway, very good investment because it's a full keyboard, and I can make capitals, and I mean, I can text like a champ now, but it's because I sit down with practically a full-size keyboard and I'm typing that. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't like those tiny little 2-inch keyboards. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox now. I know a lot of you are going to post from phones. You are subject to the same grading specifications, whether you are posting from a phone or a computer. So be aware that if you're posting from a phone, I expect that you're going to still give me a good effort and that I can understand what it is that you're saying. My statement on viruses and technical malfunction. My computer caught a virus. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Viruses float around the internet all the time, and they will very conveniently infect your computer right as an assignment is due. I'm aware of this. I've been teaching online now for 4 years. I've heard it all, and I know for a fact that viruses, they wait until your assignment is due to infect your computer, and now you can't turn in an assignment because there is a virus. This is not an acceptable excuse. I won't take it. There is free antivirus software for all faculty, staff, and students. You can download it in Blackboard. When you log into MyTCC, before you, like when it comes up to the menu where on the right hand side it's got like your list of classes that you can click on, and it's like got those 3 columns or whatever, and on the right hand most column is where you click to go into the class. If you scroll all the way down on that column, it's the free antivirus software link. You click that right there and you download it, and you can install it on your computer. You can download it and install it on all the computers that you use. And as long as you're a student at TCC, you're allowed to use the virus software for free. So, because we give free antivirus software, I don't accept it as an excuse. Okay, the other thing is technical malfunctions. I do recognize they happen on occasion, and I consider them on a case-by-case basis, but here again, it's amazing. Technical malfunctions wait until the assignment is due, and they hit you right as it's due, and I know this, but I considered it on a case-by-case basis, and typing outside of Blackboard. Blackboard times out. Okay, and that's a very important understanding that we're going to be typing a lot of things in Blackboard. We're going to be writing a lot of stuff. You're going to be responding to things. You're going to be doing essay exams. Do not ever type in Blackboard. Type in something else. Type in Word. Type in a notepad. Type in anything but Blackboard. And then when you're ready, you copy it and you go into Blackboard and you paste it. And the reason why this is because I don't know how many times I've been working on student work, like replying or doing things, and I hit the submit button and then it says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you need to log in again." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I was already logged in." And you go, you hit the button, you log in again, you come back, and it takes you back to your beginning screen where you select your classes, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just lost everything that was in that entire box that I had typed. And it has happened to me many times. It has happened to students that I've had many times. So I'm just going to say it straight out. Don't type in Blackboard. Don't trust it, except to go there and click the link and go back to your WordPad, and you select it over there in your WordPad or your Microsoft Word or whatever it is you're typing in. You go back into Blackboard and you paste it right where you want it to go, because just don't trust Blackboard. You will lose work, and it is so frustrating when you have been working on a post and you just lost the whole post. And it'll strike you at when you least expect it. So save your work outside Blackboard and then copy and paste it in. All right, managing expectations and tips for success, right? I think we've talked about it. You guys know I'm pretty, I don't really trust technology that much. It's because I've been around it for 15 years, and computers crash, flash drives get lost, files get corrupted, Blackboard times out. I mean, Just never trust technology, and you will be a lot more successful in an online environment. Manage your time. There's online classes, and particularly this online class, they are not less work. Online classes are more work than if you're going to be in face-to-face. So if you think this is going to be less work, you might want to drop while you can still get your money back. Okay, because this is going to be a lot of work, and there's other things that come up. You've got kids, you've got family, vacations, you've got work. There's going to be so many things competing for your time, and since we don't physically meet somewhere, we're every Tuesday, Thursday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. I mean, because we're not like physically meeting, and you don't have that constraint on yourself, it is real easy to just push off this class because there's something more pressing, and moves down into self-discipline. There's always going to be something more pressing to do, but you've got to really just be disciplined enough to do it. All right, so communicate with me, and I will communicate with you. If you need help, if you're falling behind, tell me. Unlike a lot of other professors that you've probably had at this institution or others, if you email me, I will reply unless I am sleeping or dead. Okay, and that I can't say that I've had that experience with too many professors. So I'm telling you right now, if you are needing help or if you are falling behind, reach out to me, communicate with me, and I will communicate back with you. Other tip for success: don't just learn, teach us too. Nobody knows everything that there is to know about the internet. So, teach us. Show us things. Show us where you found things, and that'll liven up the discussions a lot. Let's see. Expect to frequently log into Blackboard and email. I communicate regularly, so check them both regularly. Expect to be challenged. This is concepts in this course will challenge you, and I'm here for support. And have a backup plan. We already talked about the backup plan. And then there's success resources. There's a bunch of stuff that they make me stick in here. Academic support services, learning resource centers, the online help desk. Okay, now I want to talk about the late work policy for online sections of this course. Weeks are defined as Sunday to Saturday. We talked about that before. Let's see. The administrative withdrawal policy basically is if you don't work at all on this class, I have the right to remove you administratively, and particularly in online sections, I will do that aggressively because I don't see any of you face to face. So if I don't see you participate online, I'm going to drop you. Okay. Emergency shutdown policy. Yeah, I mean, if there's a huge one, that's certainly one thing. If I want to talk about, like, if the college is closed, like, let's say there's a snow day. I've seen this before, where students, they kind of invent this thing where, there's a snow day on Tuesday. And so because there was a snow day on Tuesday, they turn nothing in for the week. And it's like, what is going on here? Well, but there was a snow day. And it's like, well, we meet online. We don't have a physical face-to-face, number one. Number two, what's with Tuesday? I mean, gosh, if I was home all day and hadn't nothing to do because it was closed down, I mean, that would be like easier to do schoolwork, not harder. So anyway, we meet online. We are immune to snow days. So even if the college is closed for snow, unless it's like, you know, blizzard and the entire place is shut down and there's no electric and it's like a state of emergency, that's one thing. But a snow day or a couple of snow days where we're just enjoying ourselves because it's snow days, we're immune to that. So our deadlines are still Sunday to Saturday, and the work is due within the scope of that. So yeah, welcome to online. That's the part about online that kind of stinks, I guess. Is we keep working even if there's shutdown of the college. I mean, unless, like I said, unless it's like a natural disaster and then there's no electric and people's houses are crushed and this is a different story. Okay, I'm talking about run of the mill shutdowns where snow days or things like that they just don't affect us. So be prepared for that. Right, the withdrawal policy. Basically, I'm gonna drop you like it's hot. In an online environment in particular, because if I don't see participation, yeah, you're out. Let's see, statement: plagiarism and misconduct. I had a situation recently where I actually had a student who was doing great forum posts, and then I found online that, I started Google searching strings of her post and found the entirety of her posts on website. And I wasn't born yesterday, so if I see that you start writing things and it doesn't look like a person that's at this level should be writing that, or if it uses great British English, it's going to kind of raise a flag. If I catch you cheating, it could just be an F for the course. And it could possibly be worse sanctions depending on what it is. But don't waste my time by cheating and copying and pasting things off of websites. Okay, right. So the next thing I wanted to go on to was the late work policy, because I revised this. Okay. Late forum posts are accepted up to 2 days late and incur -2 points per day late. Discussion forums completed 3 or more days late are penalized 50%. Therefore, a 34-point forum turned in 3 days late, done perfectly, would receive a score of 17 points, which is 50%. So I've toughened the late work policy on discussion forums because I have way too many students dragging their feet on discussion forums. Those things are due, and if you're not turning them in on time, well, there's going to be a big penalty for that, up to 50%. Okay, other assignments are accepted 3 or more days late for a 50% penalty. Other assignments are accepted 3 or more days late for a 50% penalty. And that would be like the miscellaneous small assignments. The email assignment, the LinkedIn thing. I mean, you can do those late by 3 days for a 50% penalty. Okay, but web checkpoints and exams are positively not accepted late. Period. Okay, so I'm saying this. I have said this 10 or 15 times throughout the course of this video because I got to drive the point home. Web checkpoints and exams, there is no flexibility with when you turn those in. All right, holidays and closures. I talked specifically about that. A single-day holiday or temporary college closure due to severe weather does not affect online sections of this course. However, I do have on there for spring break, Thanksgiving holiday. I don't usually put any things due during those weeks, so I look at the calendar and I'm pretty reasonable about how I make things due, but we work hard. Let's see, this is in-person sections, which it is not. So there you go. That is the overview of the syllabus. Again, it is probably the longest video you're going to watch in this class, but probably one of the most important, if not the most important video. Gets you off on a good foot, and hopefully answers all your questions. I do invite anyone that has any questions or concerns, you can contact me by email, tmf22@email.vccs.edu, and I look forward to interacting with you all in the online classroom.